It's Saturday morning in 1962. You can smell the bakery before you turn the corner. The butcher has propped his door open and he's already cutting Mrs. Henderson's roast because he knows she comes in at 9:30 every week. The hardware store owner is sweeping his sidewalk. The kid from the soda fountain waves from across the street. A boy is pressing his nose against the window of the Five and Dime, staring at a model train set he'll ask for at Christmas. His mother is 2 shops down picking up a dress she had altered on Tuesday. It gets wrapped in brown paper and handed across the counter with a smile. Outside the barber shop, an old man's hound sits tied to a parking meter, watching the street go by because it does this every Saturday, and it knows the routine as well as anyone. On one small main street in Newton, Iowa, in the early 1960s, there are 4 grocery stores, 3 pharmacies, 2 hardware stores, 5 clothing stores, 2 furniture stores, a movie theater, a bowling alley, a diner, 2 cafes, and a downtown department store that has been there for 80 years. If you call in your order at Hy-Vee on Tuesday morning, the delivery boy brings it to your house on Wednesday afternoon. Every one of those shops has a person behind the counter who knows your name, knows what you like, knows your children. Main Street isn't where you go to buy things. It's where you go to be part of something. Elderly people have a reason to leave the house. Children learn how to behave in public. Mothers catch up with neighbors they haven't seen all week. Going downtown is an occasion. You get dressed for it, you plan it, and when you come home, you feel like you've been somewhere. The Newton Daily Department Store sits at the top of the street like a small palace. You can get a cup of coffee and a slice of apple pie at the lunch counter, brought to your table by a waitress in a white apron. Real cups and saucers for ordinary people on an ordinary Saturday. That matters. Your grandmother can spend an hour in there looking at fabrics, trying on a hat, and nobody rushes her. She's got all day, and so has the shop. The Woolworths has a smell, a mix of popcorn and candy, and something warm from the back. The candy counter stops every child on the street. All those little glass jars of Jawbreakers and root beer barrels and Mary Janes. You press your face against the glass, and you don't move until someone pulls you away. Further down Main Street, the hardware store owner has drawers full of screws and nails sorted by size, and he counts out exactly what you need into a small paper sack. The drugstore has a real soda fountain with chrome stools. The shoe repair shop has a machine in the back that whirs and smells of leather and glue. You know the people. The people know you. And every Saturday, the whole town shows up and walks the same stretch of sidewalk in and out of the same doors. That's just how it is. According to the National Trust for Historic Preservation, in 1960, there were approximately 70,000 thriving main streets across America. According to the Institute for Local Self-Reliance, the average small American town had between 12 and 30 independently owned retail businesses in their downtown core in 1962. Things were already changing, but Main Street was still standing, still the center of town life, still the place where people came together without anyone having to arrange it. But that was about to end. And what came next was not an accident. In 1956, President Dwight Eisenhower signed the Federal Aid Highway Act. According to Department of Transportation records, the law authorized 41,000 miles of new interstate highways, cost $25 billion, the largest public works project in American history. The interstates connected cities. They cut driving times. They opened up the country. They also did something nobody talked about. They moved commerce off Main Street and onto exit ramps. By 1970, almost every major American highway exit had a gas station, a motel, a fast food restaurant. By 1980, the exit ramps had grown into commercial strips. By 1990, those commercial strips had become the new town centers for half of America. And while Main Street was being abandoned, something else was being built. On July 2, 1962, Sam Walton opened the first Walmart in Rogers, Arkansas. According to Walmart's own corporate history, the store was 18,000 square feet. It sold cheap goods. Walton's business model was simple. He bought in massive quantities. He sold at prices nobody local could match. He didn't pay his workers well. He didn't offer benefits. He undercut every small business within driving distance. It worked. By 1970, there were 38 Walmart stores. By 1980, 276. By 1990, 1,400. By 2000, over 4,000. By 2024, according to Walmart's annual report, there were over 4,600 Walmart stores in the United States. covering nearly every county in the country. According to a Loyola University study published in the Economic Development Quarterly, every Walmart that opens kills an average of 1.5 small businesses within a 15-mile radius within the first 5 years. According to research from the Institute for Local Self-Reliance, the total damage adds up to over 175,000 small businesses destroyed by Walmart since 1962. But Walmart wasn't alone. By the 1990s, the big box stores had taken over American retail. Home Depot, Lowe's, Best Buy, Target, Kmart, Office Depot, Toys R Us, Circuit City, each one specialized in destroying a category of small business. Hardware stores, electronics stores, office supply stores, toy stores. According to Bureau of Labor Statistics data, between 1980 and 2010, the United States lost over 600,000 small retail businesses. Most of them were on Main Street. Most of them were family-owned. Most of them had been in their communities for decades. But that was just one part of the destruction. What came after was the shopping malls. On October 8, 1956, an architect named Victor Gruen opened Southdale Center in Edina, Minnesota. According to historical records, it was the first fully enclosed, climate-controlled shopping mall in America. 800,000 square feet of retail under one roof, free parking, air conditioning, 72 stores. Gruen was a Viennese immigrant. He had been trying to recreate the European city center experience. He wanted Americans to have a public gathering place, free from cars, free from weather. He thought he was building community. According to a 1978 interview, Gruen later said he was disgusted by what malls had become. He said developers had taken his idea and turned it into a fraudulent imitation of urbanity. He said the modern shopping mall represented land waste and environmental devastation. He died in 1980, watching his vision destroy the very downtowns it was supposed to imitate. By 1990, according to data from the International Council of Shopping Centers, there were over 1,500 enclosed shopping malls in America. They had pulled commerce out of every downtown they were built near. Every one of those malls killed at least one Main Street nearby. Some killed several. But the death of Main Street wasn't just about competition. It was about specific decisions made by specific people who chose to subsidize the destruction. In the 1980s and 1990s, local governments across America competed to attract Walmart and other big box retailers. According to research from Good Jobs First, since 2004, taxpayers have given over $1.2 billion in subsidies, tax breaks, and infrastructure improvements to Walmart alone. Communities offered free land, free roads, free utilities, property tax exemptions for 10 years or more. Why pay full property taxes on a Main Street storefront in your downtown when Walmart got 10 years of tax holidays on a building 3 miles outside town? The local businesses paid their taxes. The big box stores got tax breaks. The big box stores undercut the local businesses. The local businesses closed. Meanwhile, the local politicians who approved the subsidies got campaign donations. The developers got rich. The Walton family became one of the wealthiest families in the history of the world. According to Forbes data, the Walton family is currently worth over $280 billion, the richest family in America. They got there by destroying American main streets. But the worst was still coming. In 1995, a former Wall Street executive named Jeff Bezos launched Amazon.com out of his garage in Seattle. He started by selling books online. Within 10 years, Amazon was selling everything. According to Pew Research, in 1995, less than 1% of American retail purchases happened online. By 2010, that number was 5%. By 2020, it was 16%. By 2024, online shopping had reached 23% of all retail spending in America. Amazon was different from Walmart in one critical way. Walmart had physical stores. Walmart paid property taxes in your town. Walmart hired local workers. Even though Walmart killed Main Street, it left some money behind. Amazon left nothing behind. According to the Institute for Local Self-Reliance, Amazon pays roughly half the property taxes per square foot of physical retail competitors. Their warehouses are located in remote areas. They pay minimum wage. They contribute almost nothing to local communities. According to research published by the Institute for Policy Studies between 2007 and 2018, Amazon directly destroyed over 200,000 American retail jobs. The local stores that closed didn't disappear because their owners failed. They disappeared because they couldn't compete with a company that paid no rent in their town, no property taxes in their town, and no living wage to their employees. The federal government could have stopped this. They could have required Amazon to pay equivalent taxes. They could have enforced antitrust law. They could have protected Main Street. They didn't. If you want to understand what was lost, look at Newton, Iowa. In 1985, Newton had a population of 14,000 people. Downtown had a Maytag headquarters that employed 4,000 workers, the Maytag Hotel, the Newton Daily Department Store, 6 restaurants, 3 banks, a movie theater, a bowling alley, a jewelry store that had been in the same family for 4 generations. It was a proper town with a proper center. Then in 1991, a Walmart opened on the highway outside town. According to local newspaper reports from that period, the downtown businesses tried to compete. They extended their hours. They cut prices. They advertised heavily. It didn't matter. According to news archives from the Newton Daily News, between 1991 and 2005, downtown Newton lost the Maytag Hotel, 4 of the 6 restaurants, 2 of the 3 banks, the movie theater, the bowling alley, and the jewelry store. Then in 2007, Maytag was bought by Whirlpool. Whirlpool closed the Newton plant. 1,800 workers lost their jobs. The headquarters building was demolished. The factory site was paved into a parking lot for a casino. And then in 2014, Walmart closed too. According to NPR reporting, Walmart closed 269 stores across the United States in 2016, including stores in small towns that had already lost their Main Street businesses to Walmart years earlier. Towns like Pana, Illinois, like Eureka, Kansas, like Williamson, West Virginia. When Walmart left, there was nothing to come back to. The local stores were long gone. The buildings on Main Street had been empty for years. The big box store was empty too. There were no jobs. There was nowhere to shop. This is what they called regeneration. And then there are the people who got rich from all of this. The Walton family. Sam Walton's children inherited his fortune when he died in 1992. According to Forbes Wealth Tracking, Alice Walton is worth over $96 billion. Jim Walton is worth $90 billion. Rob Walton is worth $89 billion. Together, the Walton siblings control more wealth than the bottom 40% of all American households combined. According to research from Americans for Tax Fairness, the Walton family has spent over $100 million lobbying Congress over the past 20 years. They have lobbied against minimum wage increases, against worker safety regulations, against union organizing rights, against estate taxes, against any law that might reduce their power. According to a 2023 report from the Government Accountability Office, Walmart employees collect over $6.2 billion per year in government assistance, food stamps, Medicaid, housing assistance, because Walmart pays its workers so little that they qualify for welfare. In other words, American taxpayers subsidize the Walton family fortune. We pay for the food stamps. We pay for the Medicaid. We pay for the housing assistance. And the Waltons keep their billions. Then there's Jeff Bezos. According to Forbes data, Bezos is worth over $240 billion. He owns a 500-foot yacht. He owns multiple mansions. He took a 10-minute trip to space in his private rocket in 2021. According to ProPublica investigation, between 2014 and 2018, Jeff Bezos paid an effective federal income tax rate of less than 1%. In some years, he paid no federal income tax at all. He used legal loopholes to avoid contributing to the country that made him rich. While Bezos was building yachts, Main Street America was dying. According to the Federal Reserve, since 2000, over 5,000 American towns have lost more than half of their retail businesses. According to research from the Brookings Institution, 80% of all economic growth in America since 2010 has occurred in just 50 metropolitan counties. The other 3,000 counties have stagnated or declined. In 2024 alone, according to CoreSite Research, over 7,300 American retail stores closed permanently, compared to only 5,500 that opened. We lost stores faster than we gained them for the 7th year in a row. According to the Institute for Local Self-Reliance, since 2008, Over 200,000 small businesses in American downtowns have closed and not reopened. But what people actually feel is not the numbers. It's the empty space where something used to be. Main Street was where you ran into people. Different ages, different backgrounds, all using the same sidewalk. And when that space empties, something in the life of a town goes with it. Quietly, gradually, and then all at once. Think about what Main Street asked of you. Get dressed, leave the house, walk somewhere, talk to someone, be in public. The big box store asked nothing except a car and a credit card. Amazon asked nothing at all. The butcher who knew what your family liked. The grocer who put something aside for a regular. The shopkeeper who watched your children grow up. Those people held town life together. The elderly woman who used to walk to the bakery every morning for her bread now stays home. The teenager who would have gotten their first Saturday job behind a counter has nowhere to apply. The man who ran the shoe repair shop for 40 years locked the door and didn't open it again. Walk down many American main streets today and you'll see the same thing. A dollar store, a vape shop, a tobacco outlet, a check cashing place, 3 empty storefronts, and sometimes a Subway sandwich shop. Somewhere among them, there is a storefront where something used to be, a place where your family had their Saturday. That blank sign above the door is not just an empty building. It is what happens when 100 decisions go the wrong way, made by people who never had to live with the results. We let this happen. Every time we drove past the local hardware store and went to Home Depot. Every time we passed up the local bookstore and ordered from Amazon. Every time we ignored the small grocer and went to Walmart. Every time we accepted lower prices in exchange for our town's soul. We did this together, one small choice at a time, until there was nothing left to choose. If you remember your Saturday on Main Street, drop a comment, tell us about it. And if you know someone who grew up the same way, send this to them. Thanks for watching Vintage America. We'll see you in the next one.